This is Sean Hansen for Video Diary Sprint 9, Volume 3, last video. Alright, so for this I'm going to showcase my final solo project and just talk about how it all operates and how the user could use it in their own engine or their game. So I took the time manager from our previous sprint where we had the time block for getting frame time and total time. And I've added on to this structure and implemented it into a game object class called Timeable, which the user can use to operate time scales of delta time, leisure time, and their own time scale, or my time as I call it. So the time manager has a registration and a deregistration to a list, and I'll get to that structure in a second. So in the update, I've now added in two new calls, delta time and leisure time. So when the time manager updates the frame time, it also updates these time scales that the user can now multiply their object's movement, randomness, speed, rotation, movement, any number of variables by this, so that it is affected by time and not by a frame rate dependency. So in their project, if they want to not have to worry about, is my user running at 60 frames per second, is he running at 120 frames per second, this will get rid of the basic cases. It does get a little buggy though if you're running at frame rate 1 or like 150, but I don't know many projects that even run at that frame rate, so that issue will rarely come up for the user. So continuing on, so for the user, they have what is called a clock now in my time manager. So clock is a list of timeable objects. It's basically my list of updatables, but this is for timeables. And the clock updates every individual's time scale. So let's go through the timeable class, and I'll just walk through this real quick. So we have a register time, deregister time, update time, set my time scale, and then basically a bunch of accessors to the time manager, so the user doesn't have to call time manager slash delta time. They just say delta time, alpha time, leisure time, and they're good to go. Alright, so just to show you through the process, let's just go to testing pair, since these are the objects that are using it the most. So we're going to go here. So timeable, let me add, is also now a new parent to game object. So everything game object is now timeable. So any game object can use these features. So when a game object is registering to the scene, if the user wants to register their own time scale, an individual time scale, they register to time. That then calls to there, which then calls the time manager to register that to the clock, and it registers the item to the clock. Now from there, the clock is updated every time manager update, so that every one of the time scales are appropriately updated with the current time of the game. And so when the user calls their time scale, it's up to date. So continuing on with the testing pair example. So from here you can see I just have them rotating in the demo, but I'm having them rotate by alpha time, which is the individual object's time scale. So alpha time is working off of my time scale. So down here I just have a quick random and if block right here just to quickly do this. So it sets the my time scale to a certain value. So if we run this, and we'll just focus on the left side of the demo real fast. So we got these two guys. These are running off my times. So if I hit this button, you can see that their time scales are changing, but each one has their own individual time scale. So this guy is moving at what appears to be 1, and this guy is completely stopped since time scale is now 0. His individual time scale is 0. And I'll just hit this a couple more times to showcase that it is indeed changing based on when I hit the G key. Okay, so just put that away. And the other two time scales are leisure time and delta time. Those haven't changed too much. They've been working pretty well up to this point. Leisure time is used for when the user wants the object to get that frame rate independence, but not be affected by delta time, since delta time is a global effector. It affects everything that's using delta time, and it does not care which one you are. So going back to that scene, I'm going to start affecting delta time. So the items on the left are using their own individual time scale. These two items are using delta time, and this item right here is on leisure time. So I'm going to hit G. So this has changed my time scale. This only affects that user. I'm going to change the time scale over here. So the global time scale is now 0, but these guys aren't affected by it, and my main character who's on leisure time isn't affected by that. And then 0.25, and then my new check time scale equals 0. It does not change it. It merely tells the user, hey, it cannot be negative, and it just won't do that. I was thinking about having a crash, but crashing the program in that way I feel would be really disruptive, and I'd rather them just be like, oh, we need to just change that later, since it'll come up in the time block. And besides that, I just did a lot of code fixes throughout the entire workflow. I fixed a lot of problems when it came to the lists, so my ubbles. So let me just showcase one quick fix I did actually last week. So in my register event, so let's go to the update manager. I have this find call, because earlier I didn't have it check if an item was already in the list, but now this has been added in, so all my items now have that, and that was a quick fix I did when working on the demo. So I believe that was everything I wanted to talk about my time manager. So I'll showcase how testing pair 3 is calling delta time. So we'll just show you how everyone's calling their time scales, just for simplicity's sake. So test geo, which is my main control, I just times it by leisure time. Don't need to include anything else. It's just it, done, and easy to use. So let's also then check out testing pair 3 just to see how you call delta time. And here, what's that? Oh, he's just rotating. So up here, I just say times delta time, put two brackets, done. Quick and easy, simple process to use for the user. So now that if they want something to be right enough time and they want to control it, so that if they want to change something real quick, all they need to do is just change a global variable, and delta time will slow down. If they want an individual object to have their own thing, they can do like so. And that's my time scale project, or my time management project. And that'll end this video series. Ending video now.